some loving, yeah. In the eyes of the one I love, there is an expression, yeah.
Very well. Okay. Good morning, everybody. We're so excited to see you this morning, and we've got the A-team up here on the stage for sure. We're so excited to have Seth and Steve Larson. And you know, Seth is the founder of Something Underground, our musical guest artist at this year's gala. So in addition to hearing and experiencing his wonderful music today, we'll give you an opportunity to hear a lot more on September, is it 18?
18.
18. You can get your tickets today. But in the meantime, let's turn it over to Seth and company.
2, 2, 3,
4. You're welcome to dance if you feel like it. Oh, yes.
Walk down around the corner with my friends to my favorite bar. When I ran into a preacher and he asked me, do you know who you are? I told him my name. He smiled with a look in his eyes and said, I'm gonna ask another question, but the answer may be a surprise. How many verses in the universe? How many verses in the universe? Whoa, 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 whoa. How many verses in the universe? How many verses in the universe? Well, do you get me? The preacher man said, and I did. I smiled and nodded my head. The life you are living, the name you are given, is consciousness of universe manifested in you and me and everything under the stars. And we are a part of it all, and all is a part of us. How many verses in the universe? Whoa, 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 whoa. How many verses in the universe? How many verses? Yeah. How many verses in the universe? Yeah. How many verses in the universe? One people, one love, one world, one sky up above. One people, one song, one voice when we all sing along. How many verses in the universe? Yeah, how many verses in the universe? Whoa, whoa, whoa. How many verses in the universe? How many verses? Yeah. How many verses in the universe? Whoa, there's only one.
Seth Larson, I need something here. Thank you. And with that, we say good morning and welcome to Columbine Spiritual Center. We're centered in God. We celebrate a world of harmony, peace, and abundance for all. Will you please stand and join us as we sing our theme song for the Discover the Power Within right here. You got the power within. You got the power within. You got the power to change your life. You got the power within. is one of our favorite agape tunes. And Chris, I can't hear myself at all, by the way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me know that love is all around.
Let me know that love is all around.
Oh, let me know that love is all around.
Let me know that love is all
Here we go.
around.
Woo. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me know that love can heal us all.
Let me know that love can heal us all.
Oh, let me know that love can heal us all.
Let me know that love can heal us all.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a holy, holy way.
One more time. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. You can feel free to be seated. Preparing ourselves for prayer and meditation.
May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way.
You can feel how we've already had the energy of prayer brought into the room. I want to also mention that we have a second candle burning on the altar today. Oh, I've got to take my mask off. Good thing everyone else is kind of watching out for me. One of our teenagers associated with the church passed away early in August. The memorial was yesterday. It just seemed fitting. They were handing out these candles to let it burn on our altar today. And so if you're comfortable, I invite you to, if you're not already, close your eyes. This is our time where we're reconnecting with our nature as spirit. It's not something that's separate from us. It's actually something to be revealed. It can be hard to grasp when we feel separate, but it is spirit that breathes us, that moves and brings the activity of thought and inspiration, inspires us to move, and does the moving. We are spirit in action. And when we're not in action, we are spirit, pure and simple. And so this morning, our opportunity is to spend a few moments just relaxing into who and what we are, recognizing with all that's going on in the world around us, there's still the possibility to settle in who and what we are in this moment. That settling provides such support for us and the people around us, for those that are in the process of making their transition. Nothing is more supportive than the Spirit of God, our very nature. As we find the presence thickening in this room, I invite you to bring anybody on your personal prayer list. You may not even know you have a personal prayer list, but bring to mind those people that you love, that you care for, that you want the highest good for. Just simply bring them to mind. We also include in that everyone on our prayer box in the front lobby and everyone on our prayer list that's published every Tuesday. From this place of quiet, relaxed, it's easy to hold them. And we send the light to them. We send Darren on his way in light. And from here, we now gently move into a time of sitting in the silence together. Remember, this isn't a time to go over your to-do list or whatever has to be done, but a time to bring focus to your breath, or focus to the candle on the altar, or focus to your cost center in your belly. Gently bringing your mind into one pointed focus as we sit together in the silence.
I can set my mind at ease when I learn to slowly breathe. Then I feel it coming in. That is when this life will begin. So just breathe. Just breathe. Yeah, just breathe. Just breathe. I can set my mind at ease. Oh, when I learn to slowly breathe, then I feel it coming in. Whoa, that's when my life will begin. So just breathe. Just breathe. Yeah, breathe. Just breathe. And I know it's not far from my heart. Yes, I know it's not far from my heart. Yes, I know it's not far from my heart. Yes, I know it's not far from my heart. Hey, man, yo, yo, yo. 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 'Cause I know it's not far from my heart. Yes, I know it's not far from my heart. Yes, I know it's not far from my heart. Yes, I know it's not far from my heart.
Beautiful, Seth, and perfect for today. Do you remember Sue's talk from last week? She is laughing over here. She's hoping no one says no. Stir Up the Gift of God was its title. And this subject always gets me going. She said in there, the greatest gift that we're given is the power of thought. The power to hold a thought and to be part of having that come manifest into our lives. We are so lucky to live in a universe that is influenceable by us, right? It lets us know that we matter. And I told Sue it was an incredibly inspiring talk to me. It's not the first time I've heard the subject, right? I was raised in unity. It was the subject that really sang to me as a kid. I wasn't particularly happy with my life experience, and I grabbed onto that. And when I got into my 20s, I practiced it like crazy. I held the vision and tried to get as clear with the vision of what I wanted my life to look like. And then I maybe did a couple of visioning boards. I remember visioning for a specific car I wanted and some other things. But mainly what I did was, with that vision in mind, I then worked to bring that vision into manifestation. I can remember that, one of the things I had a very clear goal about where I wanted my career to go, and I was in public accounting. And I wanted to move to the next step of being a senior, and I approached a senior that I respected, and he said, "Oh, then you might want to take this class, and you might want to do this, and if you attend these meetings, I think it might really help you." And so I did that, right? I took action, as Sue said. It's not magic. You don't get to sit on your sofa and envision your life and whammo, presto, it happens. We have to take action according to either how we're guided or how our heart is calling us, whatever is happening. But an interesting thing happened for me. Oh, and by the way, it works. It works. I got lots of physical things that I wanted. By the time I was 28, I was vice president of a company. It works. But also about that time, I realized that something wasn't working. And that was that while the circumstances of my life were absolutely incredible, while the things I had were beautiful, the inner experience of my life had not changed much. That I still felt insecure. That I still felt like I was a fraud because I felt deficient. That I still questioned whether I could really relate to straight people safely. There were just so many things internally that were the same as when I was a kid. It was sobering. Maybe some of you can relate. You're waiting for, when's this spiritual thing going to kick in? And if we understand how the ego works, it actually makes sense that it doesn't change through the manifestation of things. For you see, the ego can be thought of as the terrific card catalog. And it keeps track of all of the experiences of our lives, particularly those that were most difficult. And then it forms an identity around that. So, for example, you're not just the person that experienced not getting loved enough, or the person that experienced being rejected. You are the unlovable person. You are the person that is rejected. You are the person that's not pretty enough or handsome enough or athletic enough, or does anyone else want to add to the list? Smart enough, yeah, really good one, right. quick enough, humorous enough. I mean, come on. We all have our areas where they got us. And here's the challenge. That identity, for the most part, is unconscious. We're not really aware. I thought it was great, Seth, when the minister or preacher said, what are you or who are you? We don't really know who we are. The thing is that the card catalog then forms a view. The ego works really hard to hold on to it. It doesn't want us to forget at an unconscious level because that's what keeps us safe. Okay, you are the one that gets rejected, so don't put yourself out there because you're going to get rejected, or you're the one that never gets what you want. So it then forms a way of being in the world for us. And you know what's fascinating? Have you ever, thought, why do these things keep happening to me? Well, it's really interesting that if we see things through a certain lens, it's fascinating. Like, I was with my siblings last weekend. We were talking about a specific experience that happened in our childhood. And there's 5 of us. 5 different stories, right? Because we're seeing through a different lens. So, one, we don't exactly know what is happening around us, but it sure feels like rejection, or it sure feels like I'm being shamed for not knowing, or whatever. But the other piece is exactly what Sue was talking about. We're holding to an identity unconsciously, and our life is manifesting that identity for us over and over again. We live in a generous universe, but this part of it's kind of a bummer. The cool thing about the universe, though, is there is terrific power within. Eric Butterworth discovered the power within. There couldn't be a better title. Because not only can we manifest, but we can also go in and explore. So I sit on the board of Unity World Headquarters for a few more months. My term ends at the end of the year. We have long board meetings, days of board meetings, and those happen for me this week. But the cool thing is, inevitably, with every quarterly meeting, we meet quarterly, we have some kind of development, some kind of leader development in them. So we all benefit. And this quarter, we were asked to, in advance, listen to a podcast that Brene Brown did. Here it is. She was interviewing Aiko Bethea. I didn't know Aiko. Does any of you? Yeah, so she is actually an expert on inclusivity, diversity, and equality. And the title of it was Inclusivity at Work, the Heart of Hard Conversations. But what it was really about was, how do you transform a culture? And I learned so much during it. They said that so often when you have an organization and you're trying to transform the culture, you do it transactionally. And you need to. You work on your values. You start setting up policy. You may set goals, like we're going to increase the diversity that we see in our organization. We're going to hire more diversely, whatever. And then you have measurable ways of saying how you're doing. That's all transactional. What's interesting is transactional brings about change, but not deep change. It brings about change as long as you're focused on it, but when you move to the next hot issue, you tend to go back to the way you were. So how do you bring about lasting change? How do you bring about real transformation? It's relationally. It makes sense, right? that it's when you're somehow touched, when it's about you or someone you love. And I'm curious, let's just see how quick you are, without any judgment. How do we usually communicate amongst each other in a way that touches each other? What format do we use? Questions is good, but stories. Who said stories? Yeah, stories, Beth, you're right. That when we tell a story, especially if we're willing to be vulnerable in the story, right, we tend to touch one another. Now, they said you need to bring stories into transforming an organization. And what I'm saying is we need to bring story in to transform ourselves and questions. Very good. So just for the heck of it, I thought, are they on to something? So I should have just called you Colleen, because Colleen's our storyteller. But I just Googled the power of story. And this came up from, it's called an article called The Power of Storytelling. It's from the Health Foundation. It was published in 2016, I believe. When a story catches our attention and engages us, we're more likely to absorb the message and meaning within it than if the same message was presented simply in facts and figures. Yeah, there's a lot of heads nodding. We're getting it, right? So when I say that this can be applied to our process, we can create a lot of things in our life transactionally. In fact, they broke us down into small groups, and the very first thing that we decided, we were a group of ministers, so not everyone on the board's a minister, not everyone on the staff, on the executive team is ministers. Well, I think maybe the executive team is entirely ministers, now that I think about it. But anyway, it happened I got placed with other ministers, and one of the first things we said was how easy it is to interpret what we teach in Unity as transactional. Just get clear about what you think. Transactional means you're heading in your head. Get clear about what you think, and then affirm it like crazy about 10,000 times. And figure out what action you need to take, and then it's all can be transactional. You can think you forget that we say, check in with your heart. What is it that your heart's telling you to do? What are your desires? What are your heart's desires? Forget all that. It's just, hey, I want that new car. I want that new house. Oh, I want that promotion. And we can forget. It becomes transactional. But if we want to have a change in our life experience, it's important that it become relational. And not just relational with another, but relational with us. What's our story? You see, it's really easy to get caught up in the story of what's happening right now. But what we want to be more or what we have the opportunity to be more interested in is what is the underlying story here for me that this story has got my attention? Sue used the analogy of planting a seed. And I named this talk Weeding the Garden. It's interesting in our consciousness. We can plant lots of seeds and they grow. I got to see that in my 20s. But if we want to change the experience, the felt experience of our life, we need to go in and pull a few weeds. Now, I don't mean reject anything. I mean we got to go in really and sort of dig down in and see what's happening. And this is where not only we get to do our own work, but this is where others can help us. And there's a cute little video that we're going to look at now to get an idea of maybe what shouldn't happen.
texture, you know? And sometimes it feels like it's right up on me, and I can just feel it, like literally feel it in my head, and it's relentless. And I don't know if it's gonna stop. I mean, that's the thing that scares me the most, is that I don't know if it's ever gonna stop.
Yeah. Well, you do have a nail in your head.
It is not about the nail.
Are you sure? Because, I mean, I'll bet if we got that out of there...
Stop trying to fix it.
No, I'm not trying to fix it. I'm just pointing out that maybe the nail is causing...
You always do this. You always try to fix things when what I really need is for you to just listen.
No, see, I don't think that is what you need. I think what you need is to get the nail
See,
out.
you're not even listening now.
Okay, fine. I will listen. Fine.
It's just, sometimes it's like, there's this achy, I don't know what it is. And I'm not sleeping very well at all. And all my sweaters are snagged. I mean, all of them.
That sounds really hard.
It is. Thank you. Ow!
Come on, if you would just...
Don't.
Try to see things my way.
So let's just kind of break it down a little bit. You probably don't need it broken down too much, but we'll break it down a little bit. So first of all, the woman was exactly right. So often we want to get focused on the symptom, right? That there's a nail in my forehead, right? But she said and I think we were all laughing, but she said it's not about the nail. Well, if we could all remember that, if we could just remember that, it's not about the nail. It's so funny. I had a boyfriend once who was so much like my dad, and it got me into therapy, which was good. And I must have spent hundreds of dollars just talking about him and how he needed to change. And the therapist would work hard trying to, well, that's probably not the problem. Really, what was the problem? It was the lens that I'm looking through, right? I'm seeing my dad. It's an object relation I have with my dad. The guy becomes my dad. He would say, I'm not your dad. That didn't help very much. So we get to see that, one, that's not the situation. And often, and they blame it on guys, but women, can you relate too of wanting to fix things? A few women can. There's a few nodding, but all the guys are nodding like crazy. Yes, we want to fix. Why is it? Why do we want to run in and fix? Studies show, I wouldn't have been able to tell you this on my own because I'm a guy, but studies show that we want to fix it because if we don't fix it, then there's a chance that we're going to move deeper with it. And we're going to feel our own discomfort. Our own discomfort at feeling powerless, or it depends on kind of what the issue is that's going on there, but it can get us, right? So fixing, not a good thing. But we also get to see something really powerful in the woman. She was able to tell us, hey, the nail is not the issue, which the insinuation is it's something deeper. But do you notice she needs some help moving deeper? She kept it very surfacey, very transactional. This is where the questions come in, right? Like, what are some of the questions? What kind of tension is it? Is it familiar to you? Where have you experienced it before? Does the tension have any words to it? What's it trying to tell you? Because what's fascinating about also the human experience, and very mysterious, is whatever it is that is held within us, because the ego, while it holds on to the memory, it holds on to it to keep us away from it. It thinks we can't handle it. But the activity of God, the activity of your very nature, is always working hard in you to bring to the surface that which needs to be healed, that which needs to be seen, And the key is, what's got you? Where's your reactivity? What makes you think that you're alone? That you're somehow not going to be able to make it through this experience? Now, you may be sitting out there going, well, shoot. There's a lot of stuff in my card catalog. How can I possibly get through all of it? When I was a kid, I was walking home from school one day and they were tearing down I can't remember if it was an apartment building or just some kind of building, but they had a jackhammer mounted to some piece of equipment down on the ground that had what would you call it, an attenuating arm? Is that what you call it? Something like that. And the driver, the operator, was just punching bunches of holes in this floor. And all of a sudden, the floor collapsed. The whole thing, boom. It's powerful. It's the same thing with our spirituality. When we're willing to follow whatever is up for us now, and then if there's something else the next day or the next 10 minutes, follow that back to what is the source? Because you see, when you hear your own story and you feel into it in your body, you're not just saying it from your head, but you feel how dramatic your reaction is and what's going on for you, it tends to engage our heart. We feel compassion for ourselves. We're curious about what this was. We're taken back to the experience where we didn't have the support of an adult, inevitably, that we have now. And we begin to soften. And as we hit more and more of those areas, then the ego structure begins to relax. The lens falls away. We begin to see life as it is. I wrote down some words from my own experience. This has really gotten sped up in me lately, and I wrote down that I feel a sense of lightness, a sense of fullness, a sense of having no mind. It's wild. And yet I function fine. And if I'm not, I'm sure you'll tell me. Richness. I have no sense of deficiency, that there's nothing missing in me. It feels like I'm being who and what I am. And here's the key. And it's enough. Are you ready for that? You are enough. That was not my experience in my late 20s. It was this driving, there's got to be something that'll bring me relief. Boom, boom, boom. So there is lots of power within. There's the power to create and manifest, and I'm just letting you know that for some of us, our egos grab onto that because, oh, good, we can keep it transactional. But if you really want to transform your life experience, we need to get in and weed the garden. We need to get in, and we don't have to look far. The next time you're activated, be curious about it. Is this familiar? I'm going to try not to get too hooked on what this guy cutting me off in traffic or whatever. Why am I so upset? I survived it. How is this familiar? What does it bring up in me? What that does is engages us at a heart level. Allows us to be the adult back with that child that felt so helpless or violated or traumatized or whatever it was. And that child relaxes. We relax. Eventually the floor falls. The whole ego structure relaxes. Now, when I say that, It's taken a few years. So don't rush it, and don't let your judge get on you for it taking some time. But then what waits for us is the fullness, the richness, the contentment of just being. It's an incredible gift. But we need to use the power within to claim it. I think that's enough.
That was sweet. Thanks, Scott. I love the analogy of the vision of the floor falling in. I'm going to use that going forward. I like that. I think it's necessary to set this song up a little bit because otherwise it's going to feel very random and maybe out of place here today. So when I was 12, my grandfather died. My mom's dad died. And I loved him very much. And I looked up to him a lot, and I was pretty angry at God at that point. I couldn't understand why 72-year-old man with such like a giving soul, big heart. He used to cry every time he saw me, tears of joy, just so compassionate and caring, why he would be taken at what I considered so early. And then after that, I heard a story of a family acquaintance who said something to the effect of he was in hell because he was not a born-again Christian. And whether or not that was 100% accurate is less important than what I heard at 12 years old. And at 12, I already had a lot of questions about Christianity and church. And that pretty much set me off for a decade of hatred toward Christians. And I don't use the word hate anymore in my life, except for when I talk about the times when I've felt it. And I hated Christians for quite some time. Until about a decade later, and my dad probably sensing the anger, probably experiencing the anger on more than one occasion. Yeah, he gave me a book. And that book changed my perception of who Jesus was. Because to be honest with you, I thought Jesus was kind of a jerk. I usually use a different word, but I'm in church, so. For a long time, and then I read the Bible after that, and got the sense of what he was trying to deliver, and realized at that point that we sort of cherry pick that book to give messages, and sometimes it turns out to be kind of hateful. But that book changed me, and that book was called Discover the Power Within. So I really thought it was lovely that I got to play music on this weekend as you're all reading that book. It's very, very powerful. So this song I wrote about a decade after my dad gave me the book, maybe a little bit longer, and it sort of encapsulates what I gained from that whole experience, from the time I was 12 to reading the book and then coming to this different understanding about Christianity and who Jesus was and what he came to do. And it ended up giving me a lot of energy. And so to this day, I'm grateful for that woman to say what she did when I was 12, because it sort of gave me lots of energy to draw upon. And so this song is called Going Big. And full disclosure, there is a little bit of Black Sabbath right in the middle of it. So.
When I was just a boy, you said to me, I think you should know. Unless you think like me and see what I see, there is no hope. I held those words inside my mind for such a very long time. Now I see you're just an angel falling out of the sky. There's no stopping me, I'm going big. I'm gonna do the things that you wish you always did. Oh, I'm not saying this to make you mad. You were the best motivation that I ever had. A little older now, but still I couldn't let it all go. Felt the anger and the energy was stuck in my bones. Tried and tried and tried again, and then it finally broke. Like a fever, now I'm better, I finally know. There's no stopping me, I'm going big. I'm gonna do the things that you wish you always did. Oh, I'm not saying this to make you mad. You were the best motivation that I ever had. And there's no stopping me from rocking. Thank you for the reason to move on. 'Cause there's no stopping me, I'm going big. I'm gonna do the things that you wish you always did. Oh, I'm not saying this to make you mad. You were the best motivation that I ever had. That I ever had. That I ever had. That I ever had. Thank you.
Wow, thanks, Seth. It was great music today. Wonderful talk. What a Sunday we're having. Yeah, so this is a time in our service where we gratefully receive your love offerings. Every donation counts. We are so grateful for many of you who are really generous with us, and we just want to say thank you for that. And let's say our offertory blessing together. God's love has always met and will always meet all my needs. I give freely, I receive abundantly, and I am grateful. Amen. Okay, we've got some community news for you. If you are new to us, if you're watching online for the first or second time, or if you're new in the sanctuary, we would love to hear from you. We'd love to reach out to you. So if you're on our website, please go to a Contact Me button and let us know that you're there, and we would love to reach out. If you're here in the sanctuary, I'm one of the ministers here. I'd love to meet you after the service. So just find me out in the lobby. We've got a lot of things coming up. One of the things is a prayer workshop. We're going to have 2 opportunities for you to take this workshop on August 25th and Sunday, August 29th. They're both 2 hours. They're in person and on Zoom. And prayer is foundational to unity. It's that consciously connecting with our source, connecting with the power within us. So if you want to learn more about that, please sign up for our prayer workshop. We're going to have a potluck with Peary at the home of Peary and Dave. Peary's here. You want to stand up, Peary, so everyone can see who you are? And Dave, yes, they are hosting on Saturday night, 5 o'clock. Details are they in the bulletin? Are they in the loop? They're in the loop. They're in the loop. They're in the loop, our digital bulletin, so check that out. Jeannie, come on up. She's our new director of our youth and family ministry.
So Good morning, everyone. So next Sunday, from 1 to 3, we are doing a kickoff to meet and greet and just kind of reconnect. So if you have kids, grandkids, if you know anyone that isn't here, we're going to be out on the lawn and we're going to have a lot of fun. And then our Sunday school, our recreation of Sunday school, starts the Sunday after that on the 5th. And anyone that would like to help in that self-expressive, hands-on, experiential, let me know. Love to have you. So thanks.
Yay.
Thanks, Jeannie. We're so excited to start having our families back here. And next up is our Community Music and Arts Festival. Janice is heading that up.
I'm sorry I can't see you very well today because I forgot to put my contacts in. But I feel your hearts. And many of you know my husband, John Welsh. Wave your hand, honey. So John has joined an organization that is seeking to recreate the narrative around youth organized soccer in this community after 32 years of doing it in a very singular way. They're aiming to bring more diversity, more culture, more inclusivity, and even more affordability. And they've been going for about a couple years now with a very young age group of kids, and now John's coming on board to bring in a youth competitive wing of that. They're called Kick to Build, and we also are, so on the 3rd of September, that's Friday, September 3rd, we're doing a benefit concert, and that concert is not just to raise money for Kick to Build and awareness, but also for Family Village. Melanie, are you here in the back of the room? Yay, if you guys haven't been downstairs yet to see what's going on down there or read the wonderful articles that she's got in the new magazine, I think it's called Waggle, please do that. We feel like this is a perfect relationship, a win-win-win between Columbine, Kick to Build, and Family Village to bring awareness and also funding to both of those wonderful projects. There's going to be music happening from 5 to 9:30, all sorts of kids activities going on, lots of great food and beverages, and it's just going to be like a mini Woodstock at 50 festival. So we hope that you'll get your tickets today. You can get them from Rachel out in the lobby. There's a little QR code on all of the posters, and you can use that. And I just thank you from the bottom of my heart for helping John and Melanie make their dreams come true. Thank you.
Thanks, Janice. And finally, if you loved the music today, we're going to have a lot more of it at our gala with Something Underground. Ow. So excited to have Seth and Josh and Trevor here, and they're going to be performing for us, and we can dance. It's all going to be outside. So for your safety, we'll all be outside. Anytime we're inside, we'll be wearing masks, of course, but come and join us for our gala. It's our one big fundraiser we do each year. Tickets are $75 a person. It's going to be on Saturday, September 18th at 5:30, and there's a live auction as well, and just be a really fun night with great music and great food and just great connections. So plan on joining us. You can go to The Loop or our website and sign up for that through our Breeze software. Who's our prayer chaplain today? We got Vicki, so she will be sitting with a chair in front of her if you have prayer needs or even in celebration or and you want to just connect with that inner source, that inner power. Sit down with Vicki and let her pray with you. Is that it? I think that's it.
Yeah, let's stand up.
Let's stand and
Thank
not
you so
hold
much.
hands.
Stand and hold hearts.
Hold hearts, that's right.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Amen.
2, 3, 4. One people, one love, one world, one sky up above. One people, one song, one voice. When we all sing along, how many verses in the universe? And how many verses in the universe? Whoa, how many verses in the universe? And how many verses in the universe?